Ladies and gents, a little adventure tonight. Always flies. I've only been here 5 minutes, I've got blood on my arms. Bloody blackthorns. Yeah, a little adventure tonight. I'm going to do a little quick overnighter. A bit unusual. I'm actually going to do a bit of a stealth camp I'll just lift this camera up, in that behind me. It's a field of maize. At the moment it's about 7 to 8 feet tall. I'm only 6 feet, and I climbed up a tree just before. Brought my binoculars and I scanned over, and just in there about 50 yards there's a ball patch similar to this. For whatever reason the plants that grow smaller, or they just don't grow at all. You get patches like that in all sorts of fields, all sorts of crops. So I'm going to penetrate this crop here, find this open space which I've spotted. It's about 40-50 yards in, which is ideal for me, and I'll be totally obscured from view. I'm not overlooked by anything. There's no undulations in the hills, so no one can look down on me and see me. And I'm going to camp there for the night. I brought my little stove, plenty of water. It's really humid tonight. No rain forecast, so it should be nice and dry. The soil's parched anyway. And I've brought a couple of 3 trail cameras with me. I'm going to pop them up around this field. All the fields around here are maize at the moment. And just behind me is a little pond. I've already spotted a little moorhen on it, and so I'm going to put a camera overlooking that tonight, just to see what might appear during the night. Say a moorhen, I already know it's there. You might get a duck dropping in or something like that. Might even be the odd rat running around. So it'll be interesting to see that. Like, I think it's a good spot for bats, this as well. So in the gloaming, as it's going dusk, there should be quite a few bats flying around. It's a few nice old oak trees along here, gnarled, holes in them, the sort of places bats roost up and hibernate, so that's good. So we'll see what there is to see. I'll be on my way by 9 o'clock in the morning. This crop's probably not due to be cut for another month yet. The cobs aren't particularly big, and normally they're rock hard, but I did open one up further down and a bit into it, and it's quite soft, like baby sweet corn. So maybe this corn here, this maize, is actually for human consumption. The hard ones I find tend to be for animal feed. So I'm going to go route round now, find this spot, and then I'll just tidy it up a little bit and get the tent up. You can't have everything. The regimented rows that these things grow in, they're so easy to follow. I've walked through many maize fields over the years, and it's dead simple operation just to follow the path between the plantings. But going across them slightly different. It's not as straightforward. You have to pick your way through the crop. So just do this somewhere. Ahead of me is clearing something. Yeah, it's thick. Got a chance of hell being there. Located in here. Right there. Well, that's interesting. Got what we got here? A lot of that's pheasant poo, pheasant droppings, and there's some little toadstools. Actually, there's a lot of these toadstools. Not sure what species they are, but they're right amongst this this maize. They're probably growing on dead plants or dead bits of wood underneath the surface of the soil. Yeah, so there's a little gap here. I think pheasants have been scratching about in here, probably in the early stages. Plenty more droppings in there. It's like a roosting area for pheasants. They're roosting on the ground. Yeah, almost definitely, judging by the size of them, pheasant droppings. And they've probably eaten the seed here when it was first sown. In this patch, they've been scraping up the ground here. So yeah. So I'm going to pitch my little tent in this area. I think it's big enough, but any strings or whatever, guy ropes, they can go into the plants. Just about large enough, I think. We'll see. Whew. Yeah, that was hard work. If I'd have been able to come into here following the paths between the lines of maize, I could have actually gone a lot further. There are other patches further in. At the moment I'm about 50 yards, I reckon, from the edge of the field, and I think I can just about get my tent in here. Yeah, but if I'd have been able to come down these rows, it'd have been so much easier. My tent bag, my rucksack was catching on everything then. Yeah, well, try and get this tent set up then. Only got a couple of hours of daylight. I've got some trail cameras to put out, and fried egg butties later, and tea. Most important, tea. Yeah. Tent there, tarp ready to go over the tent. Little mat there, so I don't get too dusty when I'm crawling out, in and out the tent. Camo jacket. There's just enough room for me to squeeze around the back here. It's I pulled out a couple of little stunted plants just to give myself a little bit more room, a couple of inches here and there, and yeah, it's pretty thick this. I'm stood here now where my hand is here now. If I go to there, that's about the top of my head, 6 feet, and you can see the maize is up right up there. It's another 2 feet, so 7 to 8 feet tall in here. And of course, these are the cobs, the corn on the cob. You can always feel them soft underneath, actually. Right, I'm going to go out now and put my trail cameras out. I'll fight my way back through this maze now. Right, I'm going to put one of my cameras on this little pond here. I'll just zoom in there. There's an old moorhen nest there, I dare say when it's a bit dry at the moment, with the hose pipe bans on and around the country and things like that, it's been quite dry for a few weeks. I imagine when that nest was built, it was just above the waterline. You can see where even this pond sort of started to dry up a little bit. That's normally underwater there. So I'm going to put my camera down there, I think. A lung full of pollen now, that maize. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone with hay fever. I'm covered in a fine yellow dust. This is a handy little tool. It's a little adapter. I think I've tightened it up too much actually. It's this is a bank stick for fishing. But yeah, tighten that up. Oh no, hang on, it's coming out now I think. Yep. It's just sort of screws out there. Like that. It's got a smaller thread and on the other side. And it's ideal for perching a camera on. You can see the little hole there, and this smaller diameter thread goes into the camera. That's it, reasonably nice and tight, and you can just actually stick it into the ground. So I don't need these straps on it at the moment. On this one anyway, I'll take that off because I'm not tying it to a tree, a pole or something, or some other fixed object. I'll just if you ever use these things, always check there's the memory cards in, and make sure you got enough memory on the card actually. Fair footing. Zoom in there. There we go. So some of the feel here. Some nice slows there. Pigeon. Time for the brew. Yeah, I tasted one earlier and I was quite pleasantly surprised. Got the it's not quite ready yet, but it's see there, you can get your things like you know, so I can get a That's a shot there. Okay, it's very soft, sweet, a bit tasteless. Nice boil on that. Yeah. Nice enough, that one. So, stay. More milk. Quarter to midnight. So I said, pop outside, have a answer a call on nature, and now Betty buys. Being outside, it's quite pleasant out there, and fortunately no rain forecast, so that's always a blessing. Hardly any breeze outside, and I thought if there was a bit of a breeze, it would be quite noisy with this maize rustling, but it's not too bad at all. Hardly any movement. So I'll snatch a few hours now. Yeah, it's spots like this, which are patches all over these maize fields for whatever reason. This bit here is a shadow of a tree, I think. But as you can see, compared with the main crop, these ones are all stunted and that. And all I've done is look for one of these bare patches inside the maize, and tidied it up a bit, and bingo, camping spot. egg sandwich, spot on. Just tidied this up yesterday. I spotted this little gap, came in, there was a few stunted ones there, so I ground very uneven, but I used 2 blow up mattresses last night. I always find one's not particularly good enough these days. One on top of another is great, and took out any of the holes. It's made a nice little space there. I only knocked down the ones that were stunted, so they were never going to be harvested, so there's no issues there. And just enough room for my little 2-man tent. It's 2-man, but it's actually, I just use it as one. Got a bit of extra space then, drag your rucksack in and stuff when it rains. Yeah, so really warm last night. I had the door of the tent open for a while, and just zoom in there. Got a ground beetle there, not a proper ground beetle, one of the species. The Hymenoptera. But had 7 of those in the tent this morning. Anyway, another 10 minutes I'll be off.